Hello and welcome to another video tutorial. Today we're gonna make whitewater effect and some action kayakers. Yeah, it will look like this when we're ready. You who's a long-term subscriber of the channel, I published the start of this area about a year ago, so you may recognize some of the environments we're working on here. But the action kayakers and the finalizing touch is new.
I start by applying a 50-50 mix of water and PVA glue onto the surface where I will have my water. Then I add first one layer of tissue of toilet paper on top of that. Push that into the water glue mix and then add some more water glue mix on top of that so it gets really wet and soaked. Since I only will make minor irregularities like waves in the water surface, I only apply 2 layers of toilet paper in this location. I also repeat this process for the lower dam, the landing base for the water. As soon as everything has dried, I now paint the rocks and the filling I made with a plaster, the toilet paper plaster with a rock color, so it kind of blends in. The water surfaces is painted using green, brown, gray, white and black, and I start by using almost only white and black and some green in the edge. I do not thin the colors at this point, so they're kind of thick. I add more green and also some black into the very deepest area. Lastly, I just dab clean tap water and blur the edges between the different shades in the water surface. And we're done. Here's what it looks like when done. Once dry, I apply a black wash onto the rock sides to get some contrast and structure in those. The black paint will only stay in the crevices and the cracks, highlighting the cracks. I do the same with the white acrylic paint, but I dry brush this with a kind of stiff brush. This is again to highlight the contour, the surface structure of the wall. Now we got all of the layers of paint in place. Now all of the paintwork looks at this point matte and kind of dull. A wet surface should be blank or high gloss, so let's add some high gloss coat to this area, both to the water but also onto the rock side. I use a water-based high gloss varnish. You can use any high gloss varnish, just try it on the other colors so it doesn't react and get bubbly and ugly, and you should be ready to go with that. The moss should also be wet next to the waterfall, so I also apply some varnish on top of the moss. Once the varnish has dried, I apply a layer of PVA glue on top of the water surfaces only. The purpose with this layer is to smoothen out the water surfaces, so you get kind of a more flowing look on the surface, but also to add some depth. Now wait until the glue has dried completely and add another layer of that high gloss varnish. I squeeze out thin streaks of this Noch water effect onto a food wrapper type foil. I make sure to make the streaks really thin towards the edges and a bit thicker in the middle. I'm now adding microfibers coming from a pillow. Use a new pillow, not an old used washed one, because the washed ones do not have so pretty fibers anymore. A new cost no more than like €3 on IKEA. And then I add another layer of water effect on top of that. This is what it looks like when it's ready. Once dry, I assemble the water streams in the fall using the same type water effect. I finish the work by applying more fibers in the joints and also where the water lands in the lower dam, and put more water effect into that until I get the desired glossiness of the water. At this point I also thought that there were too many exposed fibers, especially on the top of the fall, making them look too foamy. With that in place, I leave it to dry and bring forward my kayak kit. It's a kit from Noch, item number 16809, and it contains from 2 kayaks. Now, they look kind of dull and almost rubberish in the surface, so I put a layer of clear coat or high gloss varnish, and then I cut it apart and I use a fast set glue to fix it to the water stream. Again, I use more of the water effect to apply around the kayak, especially where it's fitted into the water stream on each side. This is intended for, making a foundation and make this microfibers stick when I bend them around the kayak. So I add also water effect on the bottom of the kayak, and then I push more water effect into the foamy fibers on the sides and especially under. So it gives a kind of an impression that, it's a lot of water pushed downwards below the kayak, whilst the water splashing is more foamy and not so much. So, could be somewhat tricky to, because there are fibers everywhere. These things get better with the more water effect. And then I put also some here, because I think it's, he's navigating through this mass of water. Will he survive? No one knows. He will be sitting here for a while, I promise you that. And then I add another chunk of fibers and water effect underneath to strengthen the impression that, it's pushing a lot of water underneath once going down. And we're done. Good. And this is the final result. Here are 2 kayaks. One is on its way down and the other one is approaching the falls. Here's a shot a bit from below.
I hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it on your favorite forums across internet. If you got questions, anything at all on the theme or the techniques used in the video, please post them in the comment field below and I'll respond to them as soon as possible. If these videos helped you with your hobby, please remember that all of this is made possible by a few of you viewers who is sponsoring the channel on a monthly basis with like a few dollars, $1, $2, or $4, $5. So if you want to be one of the good guys, get on to Patreon, the link is found below, and start the support account there. Otherwise, make a one-off donation via the PayPal dialog found in the video description. If you want to see more of the videos, please start a subscription, and you will get a notification once next video goes live. Until that happens, see ya!